Hello and welcome to Business 360. I'm Archana Solanki. Here are the headlines we're tracking this evening. Sources close to the Tata Group say a truce is in sight as trustees work towards ironing out differences. Say all trustees agree on keeping Tata Sons private. The Tata Trust Board is scheduled to meet tomorrow, a year since Noel Tata's appointment as chairman. TCS beats Street in the second quarter. Margins and constant currency revenue growth exceed expectations. Announces strategic investments and a new business entity to build AI infrastructure. Nifty and Sensex gain 0.5% led by IT and metal stocks. Nifty ends near 25,200. Mid-caps outperform the blue chips. 78 IPOs have raised $14 billion so far in 2025. This makes India the fourth largest market for new listings, following United States, Hong Kong and China. The toll in cough syrup-related deaths in Madhya Pradesh rises to 22 after two more children succumb overnight. The owner of Srisan Pharmaceutical, the company that manufactured the cold riff cough syrup, has been arrested. Supreme Court agrees to hear a petition seeking a CBI probe and a nationwide drug safety review. Prime Minister Modi and his British counterpart hold bilateral talks in Mumbai, hail the new vigour in India-UK relation partnership. Both nations announce a new £350 million defence deal. Prime Minister Modi says that 9 UK-based universities will open their campuses in India. Celebrations laced with caution across Gaza as Israel and Hamas agree on the first phase of a ceasefire deal. Hamas will release all hostages. Israel will release over 1,500 prisoners and withdraw from the enclave. More than 67,000 people have been killed in Gaza 2 years after Hamas attacks killed 1,200 people in Israel. Veteran banker KV Kamath backs RBI decision to allow banks to fund mergers and acquisitions, calling it long overdue. Warns of hidden dangers in unsecured retail credit boom. Also says banks are spending too much on technology that won't take them anywhere. Reliance Industries chairman Mukesh Ambani tops the Forbes India rich list for the third consecutive year. He is the nation's only centi-billionaire with a net worth of $105 billion, followed by Gautam Adani and Savitri Jindal. The combined net worth of India's 100 richest individuals fell by $100 billion, primarily due to market volatility. All right, as always, first up, the day's market action. Dalal Street ends higher with Nifty and Sensex clocking gains of nearly 0.5%. IT stocks led the up move. Nifty ended near 25,200. Bank stocks underperformed the blue chips while mid-caps outperformed. Metal names also extended gains with the index soaring 2%. From equities to commodities, gold prices have eased marginally after touching an all-time high. However, prices of the yellow metal increased back home, led by festive demand and safe haven buying. Silver and other precious metals saw a similar minor correction globally after hitting record highs on safe haven demand. Earnings now. TCS beat Street in the second quarter. Margins and constant currency revenue growth exceeded expectations. Reema Tendulkar joins us now. Reema, please take us through the numbers.
Well, as you rightly pointed out, a revenue and margin beat. The company's constant currency revenue growth has increased by 0.8%, higher than consensus expectations of about 0.3% growth. And also, it's a marked improvement compared to the revenue decline seen in the prior two quarters. This time, the international business that has seen a growth of about 0.6%, and the company's seen good growth, or the momentum continue in BFSI. Life sciences done well, manufacturing is done well, the technology services department too has shown good growth. Margin performance has also been upbeat, an improvement of 70 basis points on a quarter-on-quarter basis, coming in at 25.2%. It's still not at the aspirational band of 26 to 28%, but it's an improvement. If you look at the bottom line, profits are down 5.5% quarter-on-quarter, but that has been impacted by a one-time restructuring cost of about 1,135 odd crore rupees, which is linked perhaps to the 1,200 crore people that the company had to let go in the current quarter. The deal wins have also come in strong, higher than the prior quarter at $10 billion. The company has been talking about the deal wins will be steady between $7 to $9 billion. And plus, in the current quarter, there was a large deal, a mega deal that the company had signed with a Scandinavian company. But what the street also likes is, some of the aggression shown by the company. The press release says, and this is by Kriti Vasan, we are on our way to be the world's largest AI tech services company. So, TCS, maybe for the last couple of years, was a bit conservative. And now, just going by some of the announcements, we don't have too many details, but it does show some big, bold bets. For instance, the company talks about strategic investment, a new business entity to build AI infrastructure. So, a new business entity to build AI infrastructure, a 1 gigawatt capacity AI data center in India, which is larger than, some of the hyperscalers that are present currently in India. Also, they're talking, there's an acquisition, List Engage, with deep capabilities in Salesforce. Size of the deal is not known, but it's an acquisition from the company after a long time, more than 4 or 5 years back. So all in all, it's a good set of numbers, and the company, it's a beat on revenues, margins. The profits are lower, but that, I think the investors will see through it because it's a one-time exercise restructuring. And the fact that the company is making these big, bold steps and showing that aggression perhaps will be cheered by the street. In fact, the company's stock went into its earnings also fairly, with a good amount of cheer, because over the last 4 days, the stock has gained more than about 5%.
All right. Thank you, Rima, for that update. Shifting focus to the big story that we are tracking this evening. The boardroom tussle at Tata Trust could come to an end. Sources close to the Tata Group have said that a truce is in sight as trustees work towards ironing out differences. They're confident that the recent deliberations will lead to a resolution. We also learned that the trustees are united in their view that Tata Sons should continue as a private entity. The Tata Trust board is scheduled to meet tomorrow, a year since Noel Tata's appointment as chairman. Parikshit Luthra is here with more. Parikshit.
Ahead of Tata Trust board meeting on October 10, sources close to Tata Group are hoping the differences between trustees will be ironed out. Sources familiar with the matter say that all trustees of Tata Group have had time to reflect over the events of the past few days. They told CNBC-TV18 that they're confident that deliberations of the last few days will lead to some sort of harmonious working among the trustees and Tata Sons board members. We also learned that contrary to some media reports, there was no difference among trustees on the appointment of Noel Tata as chairman of Tata Trusts. Noel Tata was in fact appointed as chairman of Tata Trust unanimously. All Tata trustees unanimously believe that Tata Sons should remain a private entity, even as the RBI had mandated a public listing of Tata Sons by September this year. Sources say that the government was obviously concerned about differences among trustees and therefore held a meeting with members of Tata Trust and Tata Sons on Tuesday. Apart from differences over the appointment of independent directors, including that of Anita George, Tata Group trustees were divided over the resignation of Vijay Singh as nominee director on the Tata Sons board. While the appointment of nominee directors above 75 years of age is reviewed annually, some believe there was no provocation or reason for Singh to leave the Tata Sons board, considering his immense contribution. We have been told that the Tata Trust board meeting tomorrow will only look at routine matters, including disbursement of funds for charitable purposes, and none of the contentious issues of the past few weeks will play out over there.
Right, thank you, Parikshit, for that. Shifting focus now, LG Electronics India has now become the most subscribed large Indian IPO. It has outbid SBI Cards, who held the record for the last 5 years. Today was the last day of bids. The issue was subscribed over 36 times till about 4 p.m. Qualified institutional buyers led the bid with subscription at over 100 times, which was followed by non-institutional investors and retail investors. The action is heating up in India's primary market. According to a report by Bernstein, 78 companies have raised a whopping $14 billion through the public market this year. This makes India the fourth largest market for new listings, only behind US, Hong Kong and China. Nimesh Shah decodes the IPO boom.
78 IPOs have already been done in the main board so far. Last 2 months saw almost 33 listings, and 13 are lined up in the month of October as well. So it's a busy season for investment bankers and for a lot of corporates as well. So that's the kind of record we've seen in the month of 2025 so far. In terms of big things to lined up in this month itself, we've got LG a big IPO lined up for the month of October, and so is, so October itself will see nearly $5 billion of fundraising on the back of LG as well as, other couple of large IPOs as well. So far in 2025, we've seen fundraising of close to $14 billion. So that's a big amount, though it's not a record year yet. Last year, we saw a big record of $21 billion. So we still have 3 months to go. We'll see how it goes. But it's a big amount in terms of $14 billion already raised so far. This puts India among the top 4 countries in terms of fundraising so far. Look at the data. US markets have seen a record $53 billion of IPOs in 2025 so far. Second is Hong Kong at $23 billion, China at $16 billion, and India is at $14 billion. And we still have 3 months to go, so maybe it's another record year for India as well. So clearly that's visible in terms of fundraising so far in India is concerned. In terms of sectors, while the perception seems to be that it's the new age companies which are raising money, that's not the case. It's actually the traditional businesses which are raising money in IPOs. The biggest sector is industrials. A lot of EPC players, the green energy companies, are the ones who are raising money in this market. The second big sector which has seen IPOs is discretionary, and a lot of sectors, including the jewelry companies, the digital companies, the consumer tech, are the ones who've seen raising money by the IPO market. So that's the big sector. Again, as I said, the traditional sectors, 28 IPOs, which is almost 18%, are the companies which have raised money are in from the consumer tech, green energy, and the traditional businesses.
Right. Thank you, Nimesh, for that. Prime Minister Narendra Modi met his British counterpart, Prime Minister Starmer, and held high-level bilateral talks in Mumbai today. Both leaders discussed ways to expand business, trade, education, and defence cooperation between the two countries. Addressing a joint press conference, PM Modi said that the ties between India and the UK are driven by trustworthiness, talent, and technology. He added that the trade agreement between the two nations will create more opportunities for the youth and industries. UK Prime Minister hailed the trade ties between the two nations, calling it really important and the biggest deal the nation has struck since Brexit. Both the leaders also announced that 9 British universities will open campuses in India. Prime Minister Modi and UK Prime Minister also met top Indian business leaders today.
भारत और यूके नेचुरल पार्टनर्स हैं। हमारे संबंधों की नींव में डेमोक्रेसी, फ्रीडम और रूल ऑफ लॉ जैसे मूल्यों में साझा विश्वास है। मौजूदा वैश्विक अस्थिरता के दौर में भारत और यूके के बीच ये बढ़ती हुई साझेदारी ग्लोबल स्टेबिलिटी और आर्थिक प्रगति का एक महत्वपूर्ण आधार बनी रही है।
It is the younger generation in India who will lead the charge to deliver on that 2047 target. The demand for the best quality higher education is very high, so I'm really pleased that we're announcing today that more British universities will be setting up campuses right here in India, making Britain India's leading international provider of higher education and delivering on our vision 2035 that we set out in July.
US President Donald Trump has said that Israel and Hamas have agreed to the first phase of his peace deal for Gaza after 2 years of fighting in the enclave. Israel and Hamas have confirmed the agreement. However, differences remain over the interpretation of how Trump's broader plan is to unfold. Israeli hostage and Palestinian prisoners will be released under the agreement. The deal will also see the withdrawal of Israeli forces and the entry of aid into Gaza. The deal will go into effect if it's approved by Israel's government when it meets today. World leaders have welcomed the news of the two sides accepting the deal.
I strongly welcome the news that a deal has been reached on the first stage of the peace plan in Gaza. This is a moment of profound relief that we felt around the world, but particularly for the hostages, their families, and for the civilian population of Gaza.
यूक्रेन कॉन्फ्लिक्ट और गाजा के मुद्दे पर भारत डायलॉग और डिप्लोमेसी से शांति की बहाली के सभी प्रयासों का समर्थन करता है।
All right, it's time for a short break. Coming up next, the toll in cough syrup-related deaths in Madhya Pradesh has risen to 22 after 2 more children succumbed overnight. More details when we return. Welcome back. Madhya Pradesh government has confirmed the death of 2 more children after consuming contaminated cough syrup. The death toll now stands at 22. Ranganathan Govindan, the owner of Station Pharma, which manufactured the cold reef syrup, has been arrested. He and his wife had been on the run since the tragedy came to light and was caught in Chennai early this afternoon. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court has agreed to hear a plea seeking a court-monitored probe into the case. As per reports, the matter has been listed for urgent hearing and will be taken up tomorrow by a bench presided by Chief Justice Gawai. Manoj Sharma joins us now with all the details.
Well, it's a major breakthrough in cough syrup tragedy case in Madhya Pradesh because the prime accused, Ranganathan Govindan, is arrested from Chennai. Govindan was, he was running his factory of cold reef syrup from Kanchipuram. It was brand name was Cold Reef and the name of the company was Sreshan, and Ranganathan was the owner of that company. Obviously, his arrest is a major achievement for Madhya Pradesh police. Now, the police would take his transit remand from a local court in Chennai, and from there he would be brought to Chhindwara and would be produced before the Chhindwara district court, from where the Madhya Pradesh police would take his police remand for interrogation. So obviously it's a big achievement for Madhya Pradesh police. And secondly, another important accused, Dr. Praveen Soni, he was already arrested, he was interrogated, and then he sought bail from local court. But the bail plea of Dr. Praveen Soni was rejected by the local court in Chhindwara, and now he is sent to judicial custody.
Central Drug Regulator is starting a pan-India drive to test and audit all cough syrup makers. Sources say the Central Drug Standards Authority has sought a detailed list from all states and union territories of cough syrup manufacturers. Pharma is under the US FDA's scanner after it inspected its facility in Andhra Pradesh. The health authority has said that the Pharma unit failed to follow quality control unit procedures. The FDA added that the raw materials and quantities do not support actual active pharmaceutical ingredients, yield reduced. The Pharma firm also failed to reconcile quantities of identification labels. SoftBank-owned Graphcore will be opening a new AI engineering campus in Bengaluru. This will create 500 new semiconductor jobs with an investment of $1.3 billion over the next decade. The AI engineering campus will help in building the future of AI computing. In the first phase, the company will recruit 100 AI semiconductor engineers in India. All right, it's a shot in the arm for Indian pharma companies. According to a report by the Wall Street Journal, White House spokesperson Kush Desai has confirmed that the US has shelved plans to impose tariffs on generic drug imports. Remember, India is the largest single source of generic drugs for the US market. In fact, Indian-made generics cost 1/5 of what it takes to produce in the US or Europe. All right, it's a CNBC-TV18 exclusive. Veteran banker KV Kamath has said that the Reserve Bank's sweeping regulatory changes open up equal opportunities for banks. The RBI has recently allowed banks to finance M&A. Kamath believes acquisition financing is an excellent avenue of business for banks. Speaking with Ritu Singh, Kamath also warned about hidden dangers in the surge in unsecured credit. He also said banks are spending too much money on technology which won't take them anywhere.
So I would think, looking at the risks at that point in time, the way business was being done at that point in time, that was something that was not allowed. And now, in a completely different context, I believe the Reserve Bank has done the right thing to open it up because it's an excellent avenue of business for banks. It's not investing enough or not. They are investing a lot more than they ought to, but they're not investing it right. I'll make this very clear. Technology investments by big players in the fintechs around the world, in the financial services industry, not fintechs, around the world, they're not investing what they ought to invest. They're investing much more than what they ought to invest, but in things which will not take them anywhere. So they are basically taking forward legacies. You need to make a complete break from legacies and move to platforms which are current. That's not happening.
French President Emmanuel Macron's office has said that he will nominate a new Prime Minister in the next 48 hours. The announcement followed 2 days of the outgoing Prime Minister's last-ditch talks with party leaders to break the country's political deadlock. The outgoing Premier said that the possibility of dissolving Parliament was beginning to fade following the talks. Ukrainian drone strikes killed 3 in Russia. Moscow claimed that it destroyed 53 Ukrainian drones overnight. Zelensky also said Ukraine's attacks on Russia's oil facilities had degraded them to an extent that the country was experiencing energy shortage. Both Russia and Ukraine have been targeting critical energy generating facilities as winter approaches. The latest edition of the Forbes Rich list is out. Reliance Industries chairman Mukesh Ambani is India's richest person for the 3rd consecutive year in a row, with a net worth of $105 billion. Infrastructure tycoon Gautam Adani and family is at number 2, with a fortune of $92 billion. Retaining the 3rd spot on the list is Savitri Jindal of the OP Jindal Group. Telecom magnate Sunil Mittal is the biggest gainer, with his net worth which he shares with his family, increasing to $34.2 billion, seeing him climb 3 places to the 4th richest spot. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Business 360. News and updates continue right here. Thank you for watching.